Hi there, it's time to look at the AI and deep tech crypto trio, including FET, ICP, and TAO. This week, FET has climbed again, continuing with the strong trend if we look at the volume. It's pretty significant volume for 3 consecutive weeks compared to the past 2 months. So let's dive into the chart and see what these three FN's crypto is doing. We'll look at the Wyckoff stage as usual, potential price trend change, as well as key price levels. These are education content only, not financial advice. And remember, to help you avoid FOMO and panic, the Asset dashboard is now available on Substack. The handle is Asset Lens. It's still free for the moment, so go subscribe and check it out. FET chart, we've talked about this higher than average volume and an uptrend that gets currently rejected by the double ceiling, double resistance of the green key level of 26 cents 80, as well as the ceiling of this downtrend channel box. Okay, however, it's getting very close if the volume continues to break outside of this downtrend. Okay, so it's a big battle that's going to define where the price of FET is going to go next. Okay, it may still get rejected. Like I said, if the volume isn't coming back because there are new numbers coming out in the first week of April from the US. Okay, a lot of payrolls, employment, manufacturing. So some people may front run those numbers. And then if it turns out it's not like what the market is expecting, that's going to turn the tide. So it's going to be another interesting week. Okay, so in terms of Wyckoff, we're still looking to see a sign of strength, meaning with higher than average volume, which checked one of the boxes over the past 3 weeks, but it has to continue. There are many key levels, 6, 7, 8 key levels, at least, to break before the price can come to challenge this light blue key level, higher light blue key level, 85 cents 50. Okay, currently it still hasn't break through the lower green key level of 26 cents 80. Why it has to come here is because where the automatic rally was back in May last year. Yeah, we're getting close to a full year now when the price first rebound from the low point in March, April time last year. So weekly chart gives us a macro picture. How about the daily? We can clearly see when the price gets to the dual resistance, it gets rejected 2 consecutive days just to find intermediate support as of this moment, as of today, this line of 22 cents 40. Okay, we have drawn these lines by referencing the near-term activities in the past. And there are some others at the lower level in case the price really drops below the yellow key level of 18 cents 40. Currently, it's not the case as of as of the chart we see it. So one thing that's been confirmed last week is that we pointed this 21st of March date that I said, okay, the uptrend line, the support line over here, is crossing this intermediate support level. And around 21st of March, we will get an answer because there's only 2 options for the price. Either it breaks above that resistance line or it drops back, falls through the uptrend support. Obviously, the second thing happened, but then it immediately went up with pretty good volume, shooting up to challenge this level, hitting this wedge over here. So this points to the 28. So for some of you, you have already passed the 28th. For me, I'm still in 28th. But anyhow, or anyway, we get the confirmation that it breaks below again. But this is not over yet. Okay, if the trend line turns like this, because the previous trajectory was just unsustainable. Okay, imagine, I'm going to duplicate a line, not moving the old one. So imagine that continues for 30 days. That's impossible, right? Unless a huge amount of liquidity flood into the market. But if you look at the macro news, that's not the case. So that's why it's getting these zigzag or seesaw shape. So now we draw another line, assuming this is the new trend, given the first, the second support that it found. This new date now points to the 5th of April. Okay, let's drag it over. That's 05 APR. All right. Would it happen in the same way like this wedge, where the price can come down, or this time when it reaches, the candlestick reaches the tip of this, it is going to break above the downward channel and potentially the green key level of 26 cents 80 as well. So it's very close to each other. We've got this downtrend crossing the ascending support around the 5th or 6th. This one is just one day after. So somewhere between the 5th to the 7th, we've got two windows that the bulls and bears can confirm to us which side is stronger. Okay, that's the picture for FET. The volume is still pretty high at around 2 to 3 times compared to the average back in early March, counting back to early February. Okay, so the key is the numbers coming out from the US. Next, ICP. The picture, still range found between the red key level of $2.05 as well as $2.80, the orange level on top. So there's not much to repeat over here because, as we know, we need to see the sign of strength come back. So much like FET, we want to see the price to come up with higher than average volume, challenge this green key level in the case of ICP for $4.35 in order to confirm money is coming back, but not that it is going to immediately shoot to the next distribution peak. Look at what happened over here. The sign of strength came in, but then the price retraced. Likewise, over here, after the automatic rally, there was like a mini rally just to get back to retest and shake out some paper hands before the whales really let the price launch. Okay? How about the daily chart? What does it look like? Here. We know what happened on the 17th. We talked about it last time. And instead of waiting to travel to the 26th, it dropped below the uptrend support early on the 19th. Okay, and then continuing with the downtrend to test this intermediate support level of $2.24. Okay, and it's currently slightly higher. Okay, yesterday it went below. Currently, the bulls are trying to push the price back to above this intermediate support. But I did say last time that if this trend, if it's really coming down, this is not a strong support. Okay, the stronger one is the $2.05, and that's when it's been tested since beginning of Feb and then late Feb. Now it is the third time in 2 months that is seemingly coming back to retest this line. If the downtrend, the bigger downtrend over here, isn't over, then there's basically an all-time low exploration situation for ICP. Okay, so the red line better hold. All right, this is 2.05 because the October 10th tariff announcement day last year shown us the possibility. February 2 times, the bears tested this, the whales, let the price drop to there. But then it found strong support both times. Now it is coming down for another time just to test whether that's the case. Okay, really no more paper hands around. And we talk about these dates, which, it's still far. So we have time to come back in the next week's session. Now, Bittensor. Very impressive week. Okay, up by almost 23%. And at one point, it's much higher than that. It went to challenge the purple key level of 382. But see where it is coming back to now. Okay, somewhere around this light blue key level of 300. So I consider this is a sign of strength without hesitation, according to the Wyckoff method. Looking at the volume, much higher than average for the past period, around a month or two, and then re-challenge where the automatic rally was. However, the caveat is that, if you remember what I said just earlier, according to the Wyckoff method, after sign of strength, it doesn't mean the price will continue to shoot up. A lot of times the whales would just continue with this kind of paper hands shakeout. Okay, last time, it did not happen that way. It went to, you can say, the mini distribution cycle compared to what happened back in 2024. Okay, it was a very short-lived accumulation. And then it eventually comes back down to a longer accumulation that we're going through right now. But, okay, the sign of strength has come in. So, with this long leg from the top, be cautious that some price retracement may come back. Okay, it depends on what the numbers that comes out from the US is going to affect the market. All right. Daily. The price trend, okay, exploded way beyond the original trajectory. Okay, if the price comes back down, of course, the 300 key level would be the very first key support level. If not, then the second will be this uptrend ceiling previously. Now it turns into a support line. Okay, so 3 support over here, including the green key level of 268. Now, given the price has already broken outside of the original channel, it doesn't mean there are no dates that's indicating where the price may come or may face a test. So first is the 18th of April. Okay, at this point over this triangle over here, if the price comes back into this triangle to trade, that 2 option scenario would happen. Either it drops back to the previous ascending channel, or it breaks the 300 light blue key level again and continue to trade along this line, assuming it's being suppressed by the blue key level 380 that points to another date at around 23rd of May. That's 23rd. Okay, so 2 triangles over here. And ascending triangle, people would argue, okay, that looks like a bullish sign, but I also shared in many sessions, it's not 100% true for a lot of those candlestick patterns, okay? You can observe it and maybe leverage them just to remember it's not 100% foolproof, okay? So now we have ICP, FET, and TAO covered. So which TAO seemingly is showing some positive sign compared to the other two. Pretty positive, especially this week. But remember what I said. While you're riding this wave, always have a stop loss to protect you, because you never know when the whales are going to, hammer the price back down to the earlier low levels. Okay. If you're interested to access these sessions 2 days earlier, like the other members, join the membership now. And don't forget about the Substack. Okay, it's still free at the moment. So make good use of the dashboard to help you understand where the market is at. See you later in the next session.